If you like gathering resources for fun and profit, you may already know about resource outcrops, where you can find tons of resources to gather in amazing abundance. If you don't know what a resource outcrop is, or if you just like a convenient list of all the resource outcrops in the open world, keep watching this video. Resource outcrops are special locations sprinkled very lightly throughout the open world that feature an extraordinary amount of resource nodes just waiting to be gathered. There are dedicated resource outcrops for every type of resource: fiber meadows, hide dens, ore veins, stone outcrops, and tree groves. Resource outcrops do appear on your world map and zone maps if you know what to look for. Look closely. The tier of the resources follows that of the zones they're in. For example, in a Tier 4 zone, you'll find resources from Tier 2 to Tier 4. You may also find a resource world boss, or a less intimidating resource aspect of a world boss, stomping around and patrolling the outcrop. These creatures relate directly to a specific resource type. For example, Old White is the name of the world boss associated with hides. However, a resource outcrop may spawn a boss or an aspect corresponding to any biome where the resource type can be harvested. Now, these resource world bosses and resource aspects are only a wee bit aggressive, and it's not hard to avoid them if they do lumber your way. But the real thing is to call your buddies to your location and team up to give battle to the boss. If you can bring him down, it's time to harvest a ludicrous amount of resources. For example, this rock giant world boss contains 2,560 chunks of Tier 6 stone, though aspects will have somewhat less. Okay, there's one more thing to note about open world resource outcrops. If asked, Gankers will often opine that gathering is boring AF. It's just not their type of gameplay. But they still like resource outcrops too. Can you guess why? Simple. There is one type of resource that Gankers do like to gather, and that's your loot. Since gatherers will go out of their way to travel to resource outcrops and harvest resources, Gankers will also go out of their way to travel to resource outcrops and harvest you. So keep that in mind when planning a trip to an outcrop, and keep your head on a swivel when you get close to one. As promised, here is a list of every resource outcrop in the open world. For your convenience, I am sorting these by zone type, meaning black or red or blue zone, and then by resource type. So we're going to start with all of the fiber meadows in black zones. Drownfield Wetland, Longfen Arms, Longfen Veins, Runnel Vein Bog, Sunken Bow Spring, Dry Vein Steppe, Far Shore Heath, Sky Sand Ridge, Sunfang Cliffs, Sunfang Dawn, Sunstrand Dunes, High Tree Levee, Rivercopse Fount, Timber Slope Grove, Timbertop Dale, Watchwood Bluffs, Westweald Shore, Everwinter Passage, Frostbite Mountain, Frost Spring Passage, Glacier Fall Fissure, Glacier Fall Valley, Muntin Tundra, Highstone Plateau, Murder Gulch Ravine, Razor Rock Chasm, Skylake Bridge, Thunder Rock rapids. Dark ground swamp, stumproot swamp, dead vein gully, flimmer air steppe, long timber glen, night bloom forest, Kriag door, Malag crevasse. That's Klingon for broken scrotum. Broken fell, Mardale. And finally, your blue zone resource outcrops are in Dewleaf Fen, Oak-Copse, Pengarn, and Saddle Tor, and Steelhide Meadow. As you might imagine, there is exactly one blue zone outcrop for each biome. You can also find resource outcrops of varying size and density in the mists, although they don't show up on the mists zone map, and they don't spawn aspects or world bosses. Likewise, there are also resource outcrops in the roads of Avalon. These are a bit different because they actually spawn two different types of resources, and some of them are very lean in content, not very many nodes to harvest. These do show up on the zone map, and they can spawn resource aspects. Okay, that's resource outcrops in a nutshell. Thanks for watching. Check out my other Albion Online FAQ videos with simple answers to your burning questions like these.